Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. If you're just joining us, we're getting you ready for the spring election coming up on April 7th. We're talking to the candidates for Milwaukee Mayor. I just wrapped up a conversation with incumbent Tom Barrett, and we're now being joined by his opponent, State Senator Lena Taylor. She's serving her fourth term as Wisconsin State Senator, representing the 4th Senate District. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. I know you are one busy lady. So before we get to the issues, I want to know what led you to make the ultimate decision to run for the mayor of Milwaukee.
You know, I announced in front of my house, and I announced there because I've lived on the block all of my life. I've been able to see the difference of what's happened in that neighborhood, in that community, and really the neighborhoods all over. It's ironic that you have a picture of downtown behind you. You know, we're more than downtown, and don't get me wrong, we want a strong downtown, but if you don't have strong neighborhoods, then it will spill over into everywhere, and you have to invest in your people. And so it really was because I believe in Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee, born and raised, live on the block that I grew up on. But we have to invest in our people and in our neighborhoods.
Yeah, and so since you bring it up right away, we've seen some outstanding things happening in downtown Milwaukee. Is it possible for that to spill over into our surrounding neighborhoods?
You know, I think it's a backwards approach, and I think that the investments have been such that it will make it difficult to invest in downtown. I mean, in particular, you can take the streetcar, the HOP, and the fact that that investment was supposed to go into a blighted community. It's part of the inequality that exists in this administration and how they move things forward. Downtown is not a blighted community. Our neighborhoods, we have many of them that are extremely blighted. I mean, people care about their snow being plowed, and people care about their garbage being picked up timely. And so those are issues that end up being put on the side when you invest in your downtown and not your people and not their neighborhoods.
All right, so in the state Senate, because I have to bring this up, you served as the first African-American chair of the Wisconsin State Judiciary Committee and as the first African-American woman to co-chair the powerful Joint Committee on Finance. So you also made history becoming the first African-American woman and first female candidate to advance to the general election in the race for Milwaukee Mayor. How does that make you feel?
You know, it's exciting. It's really exciting for not just the little girls, but for women also, but for the little girls who, you know, look at me and I'm able to say, because I can, you can. I think that that's important for them to be able to see, you know, someone that looks like them, being able to do it, whether it's that I'm a girl or whether it's that I'm a person of color. I think that that's really important, especially when we want the message to be in our city that success is possible, right? For everyone. I think it means something to be able to have in a city that is majority people of color, to have someone of color be in that seat who is qualified as a lawyer, qualified as a business person, and qualified as someone who has been on the powerful Committee of Finance at the state level and done so much. All
right, so talking about more issues here, some of the major issues facing Milwaukee, in your opinion, include crime and public safety, community policing, along with jobs and supporting wages. In a nutshell, what are some of the ways that you plan to deal with those issues?
You know, the first thing is the Employ Milwaukee is our workforce investment board. It's been horribly managed presently under the mayor. I think it's really important for us to have someone who is going to think about all of the municipalities in the county to be able to make it strong, to move our people to work. But entrepreneurship, Andrea, really is key. You can't change the wealth, you know, level, the poverty that exists in this community without making sure that we're starting businesses. I'd like to use the assets we have, whether it's our foreclosed properties, and using those as outdoor classrooms so that people can learn pathways to the trades, or whether it's helping people to become homeowners. Do you realize that 60% of our city properties are owned by people who don't live here? They don't have the same investment in a community if you don't live in the community, if you don't own that community. It's the same thing for city workers and first responders, whether it's police or fire, not living in the community. So addressing those issues by looking at our assets and using them differently in the neighborhoods would be the first thing I do. I also really hope to deal with the Fire and Police Commission with appointments, as well as the executive director, and making sure that we are in line with making sure that it's a citizen-run board, because $35 million in settlements for the police department in the last 5 years, that's not sustainable. Right?
I see what you're saying. Absolutely. So, speaking of, you've been very vocal about the ACLU DOJ findings regarding the Milwaukee Police Department. So, if you would, talk a little bit about your concerns with that.
So, to go back to the $35 million that we spent in settlements, that's because of wrongdoing that's happened within the police department in particular. And the reason that that's a problem is if we don't go upstream, if we don't see what we did wrong and then go upstream to figure out what we could do in prevention to prevent that from happening, we'll keep paying out. We can't do that. We can't continue, right, to do that. The ACLU's lawsuit outlines 10 items that we needed to do different. We're in non-compliance right now with 8 of them. And the mayor did not even put in his budget being able to address specifically some of those items that the ACLU spoke about, body cams in particular, reviewing those body cams. So if we know that it's a problem, if we're spending out because of the issues that we're doing and we're not changing the behavior, then we're going to keep spending out. Same thing with the DOJ.
Okay, thank you for shedding light on that. And the red light camera proposal, we've talked about that quite a bit on this show, and I'm interested in knowing your thoughts in particular.
You know, I'm going to be candid with you. I'm not on the legislation as an author. It has not made it through to the floor of the Senate. I don't know that it's going to become law. What I will say is I've noticed a lot of cities that have implemented it are now rolling back and undoing that. I also know that Ferguson is a place where they talk about taxation by citation, right? I'm concerned if what we're going to do is just try to figure out how to do more citations for individuals when we know that what we need to do is driver's ed for all of the students, not just a few schools. We didn't do that for more than 20 years, nearly 30 years. So this didn't happen overnight.
This is a result of that.
Yes, ma'am, as well as we don't have as many traffic law enforcement doing traffic citations. Our traffic citations are down. So you know what happens when you get away with coming in for curfew at 11:15 and then you
keep pushing
11:30, then it's 11:45. So it's no question that we need to deal with the issue, but I think we have to deal with it holistically, and I also believe that we need to listen to the task force. If you are asking the people what they think, then what does it look like to move forward with things that that you're going to do for a solution and not include them? I believe in transparency and inclusion.
Okay, because I have said on this show, I'm one of those people, I feel like something has to be done. So you clearly just said that you feel like driver's ed is important to implement in schools. Is there anything else that has come across your mind as far as dealing with the reckless driving?
I also believe that we have to do more enforcement with law enforcement being there. I think that matters. I also believe that people who get citations should have to take some courses. I don't know if people realize when you're 18, you can just get behind the wheel, you know, go take a test and move on. Doesn't mean that you're always a great driver. And so that's something that we have to take into consideration. Let me say one other thing about the red light camera. So you have a car without a plate. You have a car with a plate but it's stolen. You have a car, you know, that has a plate but it's the wrong plate. And you have a car that has the right plate, right? And you have a car with the right plate with someone who actually has a license, right? The only individuals you're going to get are the people with the plates. The
ones that are actually following the rules and broke a law, but the other ones still break the rules and we don't catch them.
And so that's an issue. So I really want to make sure that we're clear on that. And so if we're going to invest the money, I'd like to invest the money so that it really hits where we need to.
Okay, and a couple other things. There's so much to talk about, but Mayor Tom Baird recently delivered his State of the City address, and you rebutted with what you called the real State of the City address. And I'm interested in knowing, in your opinion, what did he leave out, or what did he paint as an incomplete and inconsistent picture, as you put it?
Milwaukee is a tale of two cities. You know, if you go on Valete Street and you walk between, say, 12th and Valete and 9th and Valete, and you walk that 300-foot bridge that's there, you'll see the tale of two cities. At one end, there are condos that are expensive condos, and at another end, you have homes and a homeless shelter, repairs of the breach. And that is a reflection, right, of what is different. I think the state of the city just failed to speak reality for so many Wisconsinites, so many Milwaukeeans, so many people who are suffering in this community. And I don't think that it's right to leave that out. I don't think that we can move forward if we're not honest about where we are. It's kind of like even in a 12-step program or even in your Bible, it speaks about repentance. Like, you got to first admit you have a problem.
Okay. Couple of more things as we're quickly running out of time. The DNC expected to bring some 50,000 plus visitors, have an economic impact of $200 to $300 million throughout the state. And you said the needs of the city's residents for the next 4 years outweigh the 4-day Democratic celebration. Explain.
Well, first things first, we want to make sure that many of those millions get to be left right here in our community. How will that happen if we don't make sure that our people are being connected, meaning our residents are being connected to those opportunities? There's been some concern about that. Also, when there was the challenges in the work environment, those issues were brought directly to Mayor Barrett, and Mayor Barrett gave those issues directly to the people that they complained about. I mean, we have to make sure that the city is being viewed well, but honestly, right? And that people have those opportunities. We can't pick the next mayor based on 4 days, a 4-day party. We have to pick it based on who is going to invest in our people, invest in our neighborhoods, who's going to be honest with the people and swift to bring solutions to the table. And I argue, send me, what has the mayor done in the last, what will he do in the next 4 years that he couldn't have done in the last 16?
Okay, so finally, we live in a city that has statistics that constantly are negative statistics, especially for people of color. Is the city of Milwaukee afraid to talk about race and racism?
Under my leadership, they won't. I think under the present leadership, they have been. We have not always been the worst. This is a place that people came from the South in order to have a better way of life. I even have my grandmother's chair that she put on her cousin's Cadillac to bring up from Arkansas. We have to be honest about where we are. And we have to be able to provide the supports and wrap around our people in order to be able to help them to succeed. Mass incarceration is an issue. There has to be a department that helps to deal with that in the administration. I mean, unemployment is dismal for people of color and for African American men. We can't hide behind that overall it's not the same when the average for people of color is horrific. We have to address that. We can't think that we can address it without creating business opportunities. It has to happen. And as someone who comes from a family of entrepreneurs, I know that we can encourage that kind of entrepreneurialism, that kind of innovation. And so mentioning the items, you know, it's been said that, well, you know, this is a problem in all urban centers. All urban centers are not the worst in the nation to raise a Black child or be a Black American.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming by today. I love the fact that you are still wearing your Chuck Taylors. I think she's got them in every color because it's a symbol of
that I'm running.
She's running.
And they say, you know, these are all-stars, right?
All-stars.
And
yes,
they say you bring your A game when you have them on. So that's what I'm doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All the best to you. State Senator Lena Taylor is a candidate for Milwaukee Mayor. Again, the spring election's coming up on April 7th. If you'd like more information regarding Senator Taylor and where she stands on the issues, visit GoLenaTaylor.com. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day.